What does it mean to be innovative? Is it something completely new, made whole cloth, without any sort of inspiration or direct opposition to something that already exists? Or is iteration taking familiar elements, remixing them, and presenting them in an unfamiliar way enough? That's the question that kept on popping into my mind as I was playing River of Gold, the new mid-weight Euro economic game set in Rokugan, the surprise, surprise setting for a blast from my past, The Legend of the Five Rings, the legendary CCG and RPG. See, the game is essentially a linear worker placement like Parks or Tokaido, where you have two boats that are sailing down this titular trade route, and most turns, a player moves one of their boats a number of spaces and activates the four surrounding buildings. When your boat falls off the map, a new trade ship deploys at the top of the board, continuing the cycle. Okay, so the circular nature is a little bit different, but it's not exactly uncharted territory. Well, the second of three possible actions that you can select for your turn is to build a building, spending your sweet hard-earned koku and taking one of the buildings from the four on display and placing it along the river, giving you an immediate building bonus, usually influence in the region that it's built, which itself is a track that increases in each region, giving immediate benefits and bolstering your endgame scoring. But just like, say, Lords of Waterdeep, these new buildings that come into play give benefits to the players that visit them, incentivizing boats by everyone to stop in those locations, and there's an additional reward for the owner of the building when that building is visited. Okay, so we're starting to see the economic network at play. You have the boats that are traveling along, you'll activate the surrounding buildings to gain resources and money, or you'll build buildings that are going to give you sweet, sweet passive income, as well as giving juicier spots for you and other players to visit. All of this is dictated by a custom die numbered 1 through 6 and featuring the 6 regions. And your action is either move a number of spaces equal to the die, build a building in the depicted region, or deliver to a customer card in hand affiliated with the dice's region, granting immediate, ongoing, and endgame rewards. And the game is played until all buildings for your player count run out of supply, either by being built or scrapping the top available anytime a boat cycles off the board. And most points by way of those claimed during game, standing with influence in a region, claimable gold cards distributed at setup, and number of completed customers, not to mention delicious bonus scoring from their unique types, not unlike Concordia, wins the game. So again, how innovative is it? And how innovative does it need to be? The DNA of great games over the last 10 plus years is all over this thing, but it's the unique combination of presentation of those ideas, the amalgamation that gives it a unique identity and makes it feel unlike anything else. A big part of this is the freedom, which is a weird thing to say when your turn is dictated by a d6, but end of every turn you roll and plan. Do you move one boat 5 spaces, build in the marshes, deliver to a customer in the marshes, or do you spend Divine Favor to rotate your dice up or down, granting a series of other options? Divine Favor is enough of a cost that you don't use it frivolously, but not so much that you hesitate to take advantage of. And that's what this game is all about, the propellant drive of taking the best series of turns after turns, getting better and better rewards. It's not super sequential in the strategic sense. It's not like you pick a plan real early and just lean into that, especially because you're continually reacting to a die roll and the board state, which is ever changing. But like the Great River of Rokugan itself, there is a really nice tactical flow. Also, I love the beautiful arc that comes out of such a simple structure, both with the river becoming far more populous and lucrative as players add buildings, but your customers unlock powerful effects, from monks increasing your divine favor and letting you have additional rewards from buildings, to merchants that trigger abilities with every boat completing their journey, to nobles that upgrade your ship that trigger powerful abilities upon their movement. all in a tight package where you find yourself wishing that it were just a hair longer, but that's much better than the alternative of wishing the game had ended 20 minutes ago. And all of this analysis so far is using my quasi-objective critic hat, but I'm going to have to remove that for a second as we step into the realm of nostalgia to take a look at presentation and theme. Rokugan, the setting of The Legend of the Five Rings, was one of the longest-lasting true competitors to Magic to come out of the early CCG boom, one that enveloped my teens and early 20s, hitting as many as 2 sanctioned tournaments a week and competing in several regionals. This setting, inspired by East Asian mythology and in retrospect a significant amount of heavy-handed Orientalism, has endured, evolved, and thankfully become more thoughtful through the course of the mountains of fiction and game entries generated for the last 30 years. River of Gold does not need to be set in Rokugan. The class struggles between peasantry and the powerful ruling class, warring samurai struggling over territory but also dutifully protecting against the Shadowlands, the mystical monks in Shugenja tapping into ethereal magic, and the duplicitous courtiers leveraging honor, deception, and propriety to steer the empire toward their goals. None of this is pertinent to this game. And yet, that can be kinda cool in its own way too. This is a Mercantile game set in a martial world, with just enough of the trappings to be distinctive while not expecting players to know the deep lore to appreciate the beautiful production with the fine gold embossing throughout. There are little things I take issue with. The choice of 2-player powers for each clan feel very much like an afterthought, both with relatively slight mechanical impact with only the barest link to the history or ideology of the 4 representative clans, Crab, Crane, Scorpion, and Mantis, Yoritomo's alliance for life, and the overall missed opportunity to take advantage of the setting's bureaucracy via taxes, levies, and tariffs in a trading game. But overall, it provides vibrance and dimension to a world I love that is normally larger than life. Clearly, I really like the game. It's beautiful, easy to learn, and has great momentum, but it also has its share of flaws. In addition to the criticisms I've already mentioned, there are times where it feels like just every move is good, and yeah, while some may be better than others, having every single move propel you and the game forward feels like it can remove some degree of tension, and that's going to be a problem for some people. Also, for a Euro game made in 2024, it's practically inexcusable to not have a solo game. Fortunately, the good folks at the BGG solo community have already been working on this, so you can play this solo if you're willing to do a little bit of print and play, but that really should have been a consideration in the box from the get-go. But in the end, it's just really nice. Not monumental and not particularly innovative, either mechanically or in its kind of casual adaptation of the setting, but in both, it tries to take these disparate elements and present them in a new way, with a wonderful result that sails confidently on its own. And that's our review. Let me know, are you an L5R fan? Have you played the original game? Have you played the RPG? Have you played the Fantasy Flight re-implementation of the CCG or any of its offshoots? Put your favorites and your clan affiliation in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being such an awesome community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.